Come on, Twitch. You can do it.
Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 468, recorded on March 7th, 2024. On this week's episode, Justin's back from his Sega negotiations, Marty begins his run to WrestleMania, Jesse learns to build his own Switch successor, and I'm still listing off my backlog. Jesse, you know what to do.
What's up, everybody? It'd be nice to turn my microphone on to introduce the show. Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 468. It is March the 7th, 2024, and the gang is all here. That's right. Justin is back with us, and Tim and I and Jesse are still hanging out, holding down the fort, making sure, he can venture off to faraway places and do all kinds of fun things. Why don't we ever get vacations, guys? Is that not in our contract?
Because the HR team doesn't approve them, and this guy is HR. Yeah, that's fine.
Just book the flight. They can't stop you then.
You're lucky I was away when you put that submission in. You're lucky.
Well, it is Thursday, and you know what that means. It's time for podcasts and sitting around talking about Nintendo with the guys and you as you listen. And so, Justin, man, it's good to have you back.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, I'm not back, right? I'm still on the beach. I've got my Hawaiian shirt on. I've got the sunset in the background, right?
Those are some very calm waves.
They are very calm waves. They are very still and silent. It's amazing. Yeah. No, it's great to be back. 3 weeks off has been.
It's fun watching someone else pull the same gag that I pulled off in October.
Listen, all right, Smarty Pants, just simmer down, okay? It was a good enough gag that I can do it again. All right. It's it's good. It's good to be back. Had a fantastic time. I put some photos in our Nintendo Dads Discord about what we were doing, but we just did 2 weeks in Hawaii. As my wife and I celebrate our 20-year wedding anniversary, took the kiddos with us, and man, it's tough to be back in Canada after what an amazing experience that was. So I'll tell you that right now. Yeah. So yeah, here I am. What did I miss? I miss?
Quite a bit actually. Tim,
you missed the Pokemon Direct.
As I'll say, what did I miss?
Pokemon Direct, Partner Direct. Tim doesn't know how the calendar works. All
right.
Jesse's building stuff with electronics, so that's not anything. I mean, you really didn't.
So really, I really left you guys unattended for several weeks, and it did not go as well as we hoped it would.
Yep, things were on fire.
You came back. Nothing was on fire. The Twitter account was still active.
That's right.
We had uploaded videos.
Our YouTube channel did not get hacked.
Yeah, right. That's a big win.
That's right.
That's a big win.
Hi, Andre.
Golly, I can't take.
I suspect that they're like hacking channels or whatever, and they're looking at ours like, no, we don't.
Yeah.
We're just gonna leave that.
We're like, who the hell are they?
We don't need to do worse things to that channel.
Yeah,
they're having a hard enough time surviving as it is.
Yeah, I got a really nice compliment about our YouTube channel the other day.
Really?
I was sitting around with some teenagers, and one of them said, I was like, it came up that I'm on the show, And then we do YouTube and everything. And they're like, really? You do a podcast? I was like, yeah, every week. And this other girl goes, yeah, I subscribe to your channel. I was like, oh, thanks. She's like, I don't ever watch any videos.
You know what? Interestingly enough, so I'll give a bit of a call to arms here. Interestingly enough, 75% of our views come from people who are not subscribed to our Nintendo Dads channel.
Yeah.
And
that number is low compared to many other channels.
Yeah, so if there's a call to arms, if you could go to Nintendo Dad's YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button, boy, that would be great. And if you hit the bell button, like we actually put out videos daily. Like legitimately, our cadence is almost every single day we have a video coming out that you can
honestly
watch.
Unless it's like the start of this year where like for January and February the literal Switch releases were like a molasses drip, then we but look guys, whoa, March is heating up. I mean, we've got stuff. I looked at the queue. I did the weekly update this week, which by the way, you go to Patreon and get that for free. But it's I did the weekly update, had to do more videos than I've done in a while. Of course, most of them were just unboxing stuff and rubbing it in everybody's face. And
it's 100% it. Yeah.
But that's okay. Tim, how are you? We've spent way too much time on Justin.
It's okay. I'm doing good. I'm a little bit tired and been a busy week at work and all that kind of stuff. So if I don't sound as energetic, it's probably because of that. Probably because I probably shouldn't have ate a handful of M&Ms either. So got that sugar rush and probably.
What kind of M&Ms were they?
Peanut M&Ms. Peanut M&Ms.
No, those are my favorite kinds.
Peanut M&Ms are mid at best. Peanut butter M&Ms, on the other hand,
peanut butter ones are no, because see, I was eating the peanut M&Ms with the Reese's peanut butter eggs.
Okay.
So not the peanut butter cup eggs, the Reese's Pieces eggs.
Can I ask?
I'm talking about those. Those are good.
Okay, yeah. Have you had the caramel cold brew M&Ms?
Never.
Sounds awful.
Yes, I have had those. Those
they
are good.
Not awful. Those are like whatever S tier is, whatever's above that. If it's S plus, I think they're those. Oh my gosh, they're amazing.
Those are pretty good. Yes.
I'm sorry you're tired. Hopefully the chocolate will not affect you too much. Jesse,
that's why I have Coke.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Also tired.
Also tired. So next week, spring break, so no classes for me. And my wife's doing her camping trip for Gulf War in Mississippi. So it'll be me, Matthew, and me for a week by ourselves in the house.
So what you're saying is live podcast from your house next Thursday.
All right, here we go. We're on our way, Jesse.
Here we go.
On our way.
We'll be flying out.
Notice he didn't say no.
But notice he didn't say yes.
Yeah, well, I was going to point that out too, but
it's up for interpretation.
Yeah. Anyway, I think it's probably a no. Tell you what's not a no. It's time to talk about the news this week, shall we?
Do it.
And of course, our news is brought to us each and every week by you fine folks over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, where for as little as $1 a month, that's right, $1 a month, you can join in and be part of the greatest community of all time on the internet. You can come in and see most of the shenanigans, but if you want all of the shenanigans, the full Monty of shenanigans, $5 a month gets you access to the full sub channel there in Discord, where you too can post in the wrong sub channel and get reprimanded in real time by Tim Off.
Yeah, that's such a great function.
It's fun. It's like it summons him. If you do it in the wrong, it's like the Tim, poof, and he just hashtags.
Speaking of which, I need to submit a form to HR because someone on this team keeps posting Nintendo Dad's content in the junk drawer. Anyways, go ahead, continue.
Is it me?
You keep posting in the
Dude,
junk drawer.
Okay, so can we clear the air right here on this? The junk drawer is just general, right? Like it's general, like I want everybody to know about it,
I'm messing with you, Jess.
right?
Marty, go ahead.
Anyway. $5 a month gets you at least one reprimand from Tim a month, sometimes publicly. $10 a month gets you pre and post show audio. $30
What a bonus.
Gets you all of that. You get extra reprimands from Tim because you get to be on the show
You
as
get the boots.
producer.
Yeah.
I break out the boots.
Yeah, you get to come and hang out with us, bring your own topic, and just have a great time. And
Tim will shame you publicly here in front of the entire internet audience.
Yeah, he's going to include you in the backlog reading. So I think you should make a list. The next list should be all of the people you've told to move things in the Discord. That would be great. And I would say this too. One of the
in
big
ranked
perks,
order of occurrence.
I'm also going to announce my retirement as Discord manager now.
Oh no! I nominate Marty. Marty.
No. Everybody knows that I come through Discord about once a week, drop bombs, and leave. It's just like
Tim knows. That's why he's there.
He's got to clean it up. One of the biggest perks for you over at Patreon is if you, whatever level you back the show on, you get an ad-free version of the show right in your feed. And that I think is worth at least $1 a month, right?
Now, I'm going to tell you right now, though. Right now, I'm looking at the ad read, and it's sure look at it's a bit of a St. Patrick's Day. You're going to miss an Irish read from Justin. Oh, sure, boys. Would you not now? Now? Just listen to the read. Oh, boys. Sure, look at you. Love it.
Justin, it has to be better than what we tried.
Thank goodness you were doing it, because last week I was not going to be able to do that.
Yeah, we can't do that, but you can, because you actually lived over there for a little bit, so you got exposed. You got tossed in the deep.
I will bust out my Irish accent for you.
Please
for my citizenship.
But anyway, you can head over to patreon.com/NintendoDads, sign up, do all that. And if you're a Twitch, if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber and you have Twitch, you can go over and throw your Twitch Prime subscription to us once a month as well. Get access to the Discord. Let's jump straight into the headlines, guys. Coming in hot. Nintendo and Tropical Haze settled out of court this week. Of course, Tropical Haze is the creator of Yuzu, which was a popular emulator for Nintendo Switch. They settled out of court for $2.4 million in damages, as well as a claim to cease distribution of Yuzu. This has kind of created a domino effect. Citra, which was a popular 3DS emulator, has also closed up shop this week. Justin, I wanted to put this at the top of the show because I know there's some people out there who listen to us and they crave the sweet nectar of business. Justin, the children love them.
Just comes down your face, creamy. Oh my gosh! I didn't take a big bite into it.
The business, and so let's dive into this. Let's dig into this because this is pretty big. This has been the most legal action we've seen against emulation in a while. But I would argue that it's not just about emulation, right?
Right. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. This was a very quick ruling, by the way. If memory, as a heads up,
remember, this didn't go to court. It was settled before it went, and then a judge just approved the settlement. But my understanding before Justin kicks in is the reason why they settled so fast is because if it went into court and into discovery, it would have been a hell of a lot worse for the Yuzu group.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
for sure.
They would have found all the things they were stealing.
Yeah, and there was a lot of commentary around, obviously. So let me just put it this way: Nintendo don't mess around. Do you know what I mean?
Those ninjas. Gotta watch out for those ninjas.
Don't be shocked about this. Do not be I can't believe Nintendo did this. Really, you don't believe this because this individual actually ended up getting copies of Tears of the Kingdom a week beforehand and put on emulation, and people accessed it. I believe it was over 100,000 people accessed.
1 million.
Which means 1 million. There it is, 1 million.
At least it was a
people
million
accessed it.
downloads of the
Yeah.
ROM.
Yeah. So like, let's just put a dollar figure to that one, will we? Right. So 1 million people decided to download the ROM. And had you bought it in a store, that's $1 million worth, or 1 million sales. Let's see, now it was priced at what, $70? So 70 times 1 million. Anyone want to take a guess? I'll let y'all do the math. I know it's the US system. So if you want to pull out your calculators, you can. That's $70 million. All right. Like,
Of course,
So-
if I put that into my calculator, which is in engineering mode, it would be 70 E6.
there you go. So Nintendo being like, listen, pal, you owe us some pennies and dimes. I am not shocked that they were happy to settle out of court, because Nintendo could have wrecked this. Like, and here's legitimacy of it too. Like, they did. Like, it was a straight, like, you owe us this, and it was quickly figured out, and you need to destroy like everything. They don't screw around. And here's the other thing. If your response is, well, they don't give me the games I want, so I can do whatever I want. No, you can't. No, you legitimately can't, because it's their IP and their property. Well, they're not releasing the game I want. Doesn't matter. It's theirs. You don't own that. All right. So yeah, they're going to come at you. And if you are shocked again that Nintendo did this, of all the companies to screw with regarding emulation, Nintendo's the one you don't want to do. Remember, this is the same company that wouldn't let us like show Nintendo videos promoting their products on YouTube or Twitch.
They also,
Because-
remember, back in the Famicom days, they made it illegal to rent games in Japan.
Yeah.
Because
wow.
Like, I love how everyone's so shocked about this. I'm like, this is one of the most conservative companies in the world that has some of the most valuable IPs in the world, who don't want to tarnish or taint or lose any of that, and have the ability in this case to like go to you and say, we can legitimately tell you how much you cost us.
So this is the modern day pirates versus ninjas.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, but like, I don't feel bad for you, son. Right? And you got beat down and slapped. And those Nintendo ninjas do not screw around. So, well, like, you knew what you were doing was wrong. You knew. Like, what did you think was going to happen? And it's the internet. Everybody figures it out eventually. Like, what are you doing with yourself, pal? I don't know. That's my opinion. So yeah, they settled quickly for 2.4 million in damages, which is way less than what Nintendo probably could have got, to Jesse's point, had they went to actual discovery and done the very simple math that I did in front of you. Yeah. So what else you want to talk about for that one?
Here's what I want to talk about is that, and I think you covered this well. Okay, I'll be honest. One of the things I saw at the beginning was there was a kind of a rallying cry about this. It was like, it wasn't ever about pirating Nintendo new release Switch games. It was just about preserving video games.
Oh,
And-
yes.
and-
the
and it was-
preservation call.
And also, it's the best way to play Switch games. Nintendo has now deprived us of the best way to play Switch games.
Nintendo is a company that deliberately structures hardware in collaboration with software to create unique gaming experiences. That is their full belief and mantra for everything that they have designed for and built for. So intrinsically, the hardware is associated with the software. And it's sort of like, here's the deal. Here's the way that I sort of like, you go to like a fancy restaurant, all right? You order like the fancy steak and those like fancy potatoes that kind of have like look like a wave on it, and some like asparagus, and like the chef has like perfectly curated and created for you, right? Do you know what I mean? Like they have, like, this is the way that you should eat this steak, and it should be, we've put a little bit of like little special salt on it, right? A little bit of this, a little bit of that, right? We put a special little butter on it. This is, as I am the chef, this is the way you should eat and consume this steak. And you're like, wow. Do you have any ketchup? right? Like that is the equivalency of that is I am now going to completely alter that experience. And so listen, this is the way that Nintendo plays. Like, again, don't be shocked about it. I understand the argument for game preservation. And if we were in a scenario where all of a sudden the game was going offline, right? Yeah, I could understand that. But million downloads for Tears of the Kingdom a week before it came out. That's not game preservation.
No, it's not. So
Yeah,
what would you say? Go ahead,
And I've said it before. What people think of preservation is really availability.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo preserves their stuff. Doesn't mean it's available to everybody at every time. If they didn't preserve their stuff, we wouldn't have had the Giga Leak 5 years ago or whatever that was, however long ago that was.
I also suggested that that Nintendo or companies like Nintendo, when they shut down things like this, like they're supposed to, I also said, I wonder if they should also look at the whys. You know, why are people doing this? Like they give, like Marty, you said that excuse that they gave about, you know, it's better on the, you know, playing it on the Steam Deck or whatever like that. Okay, we shut it down. Why are people saying it's better to play in the Steam Deck? So maybe they can use some of that data to, you know, make money off of it.
So I'm gonna say the following thing, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard your argument because I listened to the podcast literally today as I was walking the dog. And I admire your optimism of like, hey, let's take a survey and decide and talk about like why you're doing these things. And I don't disagree that that's probably a great idea. Nintendo doesn't need to tell you any information about what they do, about the decisions that they make, and why people are like going to like, you should put stuff on emulation. They'll be like, maybe we'll do that. They don't care. They don't, like, that's not user feedback that they're actively looking for, right? Because that is, should they? Maybe. But like that's and I don't think it's also Nintendo to say, here's why I think you should, like, Nintendo going forward and saying, hey fans, we're doing this now, right? We are building a new Metroid game, so that's why you can't have Metroid 2, right? They could do that, but like that's not how they operate. You're building a Metroid game, that's tarnishing our IP, that's taking away sales from us. That's and we have a future vision for what we're going to do with this. I as a company, I don't owe you jack to tell you about what the decisions are that I'm making. It's my IP. It's my intellectual property, and you're screwing with it. And that's financially my decision, like my impacting my bottom line. I don't need to tell you what I'm doing, but you need to stop doing that.
I totally agree with that. They don't need to tell us jack squat. But what I was saying is that internally, couldn't they use the data to find out why people are going these routes and potentially make money off of that? That's what I was saying. Like, if people are going to wanting to play my games on Steam Deck, will I make money if I were to put, maybe not all those games are playing over there, but if I were to put some games over there, you know, older games or whatever. I know not the newer games like we were talking about, they were emulating the Switch stuff, but I'm talking about older games. You know, would I make more money over there if I release, you know, some older Mario games?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's interesting because I think Nintendo's argument would be, if you're looking for older emulated or older games from our Nintendo catalog, we have a product that does that for you. It's called the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch Online.
For some of them, because I think that one of the big arguments that could be made, and whether I agree with this or not, is the reluctance and the hesitancy of Nintendo to just release the entire catalog, as well as to hold back things like Pokemon, which have been available on other consoles already, and they're not there.
And that's the other thing. That's what else I'm talking about too.
Like the GBA Pokemon games have never been made available, as far as I remember, for like Virtual Console or any, you know, even just hey, we're going to sell them in a collection, you know, or we're going to sell them one at a time.
That's what I'm talking about. The data is why, so we don't want to put it out elsewhere. Then why is everybody trying to get it? Because they want it. So let's make it available on the only system that they can buy and play it on. Why hold it back like the Disney vault?
Well, I think in a couple ways, depending on what it is, sort of like the Disney Vault, scarcity creates sales, right? So when we do finally bring it to market, or we have another plan for it, or we're bundling it a different way, now you're more apt to purchase it, right? And so I think that,
But Disney
um,
calls that out. This is going away to the Disney vault. It won't be back for a long time.
but
We
like,
know what to expect
but like
from
that's,
that.
but that's relying on like us believing that Nintendo owes us something, which they don't. They owe us nothing. Like we are consumers of a machine. Like they owe us nothing. But we expect them to do these things of communication and give us the things we want. And I used to be able to get this on GBA, but now I can't get it anywhere. So I can do whatever I want with it. That's no, that's not quite how that works.
But it
Right.
does
And
in a certain extent where the business side of it for marketing or making money is making the customer happy in a way is they don't owe us anything. You're right, but they also want to make money. So
are
to
they in
make
a situation right now where they are hard for money?
they don't have to be, but they have to get some customer whatever you I forget the word for it, but customers to like them more to want to keep buying or being into them.
Is them not
There's
putting
a
out Pokemon going to stop you from buying Princess Peach?
I may not be the person that are having this issue. I'm talking about those people that are going somewhere else to try to play it.
I would argue the following. If you were a person who was going to go purchase it on an emulator, you weren't going to purchase it to start off with. If you were a
Okay.
person who was going to go find it directly on an emulator, you were not the person who was going to go buy it in a store. Now, you may say to me, Justin, you're wrong, but I don't believe I am.
No, the part I'm frustrated with is I can't think of the right terms. There are specific terms for marketing your stuff, goodwill or whatever you want to call it. There's a part of that that helps you sell your stuff.
Yes.
And it helps you make, because they were doing that at one point too, where there was like they were communicating, they were sharing stuff, they were on this road of doing all these wonderful things where they were making the customers happy because they were afraid of what happened and what they saw from the Wii U days,
I
and
think
then they were trying to build rapport with their customers in the sweet Switch era.
there's
So
a real fine line that companies like Nintendo that are beloved have to walk between seeming like a soulless corporate machine, and seeming like your best friend Nintendo, right? Um, but I will agree. Like Michael Burgett in our chat makes a great point that Disney's they've gone away from the vault concept. And now, like all of that content is pretty much now available on Disney Plus. Like I remember when they would say, "Hey, you need to buy Lady and the Tramp, because Lady and the Tramp's going in the Disney vaults for or it would be like starting up a VHS. It'd be like for the first time in 30 years, now it's 101 Dalmatians is coming out of the vault, and so." I think that like as just that's one thing I would like to see kind of moving forward with Nintendo is it doesn't really, I think, do that much harm if when we start off with this whatever's next, if all of the games that are available right now on NSO are already available,
I
and then they just say, here's everything else.
Yeah,
I mean, they can't. They can't. Obviously, they can't do like that for Capcom and Konami games and all that other stuff. But just like, here's all of our stuff.
Here's what I would say. So speaking of first like goodwill, right? Listen, you just got the Rare collection. All right, you got Banjo and Kazooie not too long ago and GoldenEye. You want to talk about some goodwill? There you go. That's some goodwill. There's some little pockets. You got Blast Corp. You're grand. I think that I think there are certain things that they could probably do. I think Mother 3 is a great example of this, right? Especially in North America where there's an outcry for it, right? Like that's like they like there is the balance of listening to what your fans want and also what you have the ability to do. I never expect Nintendo to fully open up their entire catalog and say, here you go to everything. Do I think there are things that they should that would logically make sense? I agree. You spoke about it last week. The Pokemon GBA, like the red blue, like how, why is that not out? Right? I don't understand. I don't understand. Right? My argument would also be other than, I guess, no, Pokemon Stadium. Never mind. I don't understand that. Like that would totally make logical sense to me, but they're not doing it. Why? I don't know. Maybe they're redoing all the red and blues again. I don't like, who knows? But that's not for me to say in regards to that, right? I think that Nintendo will never give you everything you want. They will never open up all the back catalog. The decisions that they make are decisions that they, from a business perspective, propel them forward and make a decision. Why did they pull away, the Mario 35 collection, right? Where it was 3 games in one. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
And it was only for sale for
3D
sale
All-Stars.
for like 90 days or whatever, or like 1 year and then disappeared. Like, why? I don't understand. Well, one, it was scarcity. Scarcity dries up sales, right? Let's talk about that. Right. Well, also then, why didn't they just show up on digital? I don't know. Why did they take away Mario 35? I don't know. Right. These are all decisions that they end up making, but it's their IPs and their ability to do those things. We don't necessarily have to agree with them. Right. But I don't know. I think that I think it's a challenge sometimes for sure, but I do think it's a fine line between what we believe a company owes us because we have nostalgia and belief, and then what they actually do. And the ultimate decision is it's about dollars and cents. It's all about dollars and cents.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing I think from my own personal experience with Nintendo. There was a point where I was really frustrated with Nintendo because I felt like I was outgrowing Nintendo.
Yep.
Nintendo wasn't growing with me as a consumer of,
But
I'd been with Nintendo all these years but I felt like they were still stuck in this, window that I fell out of. And that's when I became a second console player.
What was outgrowing for you?
Just not enough games for me to play. There wasn't enough variety from the first party, and at the time they were struggling with third party games coming in. So some of those third party games that ended up going to other consoles weren't ending up on the Nintendo Switch, or not, excuse me, not the Switch, but a Nintendo console.
Yeah.
So it was harder, like the Wii U, at that time.
But I think that's like anything, like your tastes change.
Yeah.
Right.
No, for sure.
What you're craving, what you're wanting, right? You're like, man, I always go to McDonald's and I love their sausage and egg, right? And all of a sudden one day you're like, I really don't want sausage and egg anymore. What does somebody else got? I'm gonna go check that out, right? And man, I like this now for a bit. I think times change, but I don't necessarily know if that's Nintendo not moving or adjusting. I think that's a byproduct of like your own tastes.
Yeah, it took me a moment at that time, like I'm saying, took me a moment to learn that at that time. Was like, I wanted Nintendo. I passionately wanted Nintendo to grow with me.
Yeah.
And they weren't. And so it upset me at the time. But then I was like, you know what? I've got it. Was like, that's not going to happen. So I filled those voids with another console.
Yeah. Well, I think it's sort of a logical statement, which is like, we desperately want something that we have nostalgia for to be great and to grow with us and to be part of a journey. Right. And I think that, and so that's where a lot of like the CEO, if I ran Nintendo, quarterbacking comes in, right? Is I would do this and I would do that. And I, like all those things, which are 100% great, right? Because we come from a passion fan base. And like when people are like, well, they should have their games like available, all of them available to access, and you should be able to emulate and you should bring them over to Steam and all those things, right? Like I understand like why you think that or why your belief is that. But the reality is, from a business perspective, that's not how they operate, right? And so when those two things are at juxtaposition, there's a tension between those ideas, which is why doesn't Nintendo just do that, right? And we throw our arms up in frustration, like, why isn't Super Mario 1 on Game Boy available on NSO? I have no clue. Not a clue. It should be. I don't know why it isn't. I haven't made the decision. But is that going to stop me from purchasing You know, Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door? No, probably not. It's just a weird Nintendo decision, right? And so that's
Right.
and sometimes like the things of like you don't know why it's having a difficulty. Jesse, you talked about Mother 3 and the music tracks for the Beatles, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the reason that we're all like, why isn't Mother 3 here in the US? Well, that might be it. Like localization of the soundtrack might be the challenge, and they can't get the rights for it properly. And then someone did like a cost benefit analysis of the rights and the cost associated with that, and then to redo it and then localize, and it comes into a number that they don't want to invest into for time and money because, like you've seen the video game industry, we need to be investing time and money and talent in places where the return is high. So guess what you're going to go work on? You're going to go work on the next Mario Kart. You're going to go work on the next Pokemon game. Why? Yes, we can all be angry that the Pokemon company has been putting out garbage for the last several years and get off that cycle. And man, why won't they just commit to being video games again? Because they're a machine. And also, here's the reality, because we've proven to them that despite the garbage they put out, people will still purchase it. Despite the fact it's garbage and we don't want it, people will still purchase it. So by the way, it's making them the money they need to move the company forward to the next thing. Because ring the bell and I'll salivate, people will still go do it.
And
Hey,
then
guys,
people will say, well, go ahead.
I want to pop in here and as we wrap up this discussion, just some breaking news that just came out. Michael Burgett just told us about this in our chat. That it has been confirmed that Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball Z and character designer for a number of Square games like Chrono Trigger, has passed away at the age of 68. Man, not a Dragon Ball fan, but I love some Chrono Trigger.
And he's got another game coming out with his art soon, like Sandland, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one looked pretty interesting. All
So
right.
that's a pretty fine period on that statement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that, Marty.
Yeah. Jesse, you were gonna say something to help us round out this
Yeah, I was
this
going
topic
to say
here.
people might say, well, why don't you just license the music and be fine with that and then release it that way? And I'm like, yeah, but history has shown us now, especially with digital purchases, that licenses expire and the software will have to be delisted, and then people will bitch about that.
Yeah. You're never going to please everybody, right?
Yeah. Right. I mean, just licensing, like the licensing nightmare of music. Like there's like just even not in video games, so I can speak to like the wrestling side of it. Bryan Danielson and the Indies came out to the Final Countdown and they licensed it for him for one match. And it said, they would only let us play it 20 times a year. And because they know, right? I mean, like Europe, where else are they making money, right? It's so for several $100,000, they could play this song 20 times.
It's the final countdown.
It literally is. They got it one time,
and then
several 100,000 they played it one time.
And then if they did license the music and release the game, people want to stream it, and YouTube's going to go,
yep,
demonetized.
Oh yeah, and that's not going to make people happy. Well,
because we haven't seen that before.
As Justin would say, stop emulating games.
Yep.
Stop it.
I hurt myself doing that. Ow.
A couple of extra things we want to throw here. It is almost Mario Day, March 10th.
It's Mario.
So a whole bunch of updates wrapped up here in one. Nintendo and Lego have teased some new announcements.
Did you guys see this trailer?
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's very interesting.
What's so interesting about it, Marty?
The fact I didn't watch it.
You didn't know it. You didn't see it all, you son of a...
I didn't even know there was a trailer.
I put it on our Facebook page and our Twitter. You're killing me here. So there's a 15-second trailer, I think, right now on Lego's. Jesse, do you want to pull it up? Lego's YouTube channel. But they are teasing something for sure. And obviously they're saying, hey, come back because it is Mario Day coming up. Nintendo continues their collaboration with Lego. I
Okay,
know a
that-
lot of people are like, by the way, it's on our Facebook page. You can check it out there too. I know a lot of people are like, oh, they're going to talk about the Nintendo, like the Deku tree that was leaked. No. Say it with me. Mario Day.
Yeah, this is more.
Mario.
This has got to be more of the like play sets. Really.
I would suspect a play set, and then maybe we might get another like maybe a piranha plant, or like is there a larger, I don't know, a brick head or something that we might get.
You got to think that at some point they're gonna, because they did Bowser, right?
Yep.
That at some point they're gonna do like a Mario of some kind.
Yep. For sure. I think so.
And they've been experimenting. Like if you've noticed Lego lately, like going to the Lego aisle, they used to do like these, and I always thought these were kind of dumb, just to be honest. Like they would do like an Iron Man mech with Iron Man piloting it, or a Thanos mech with, but right now they have like an actual Batman figure that's meant to be Batman. It's not a mech that Batman is piloting. Like it has a Batman head that has specially been designed for this. I could see them doing something like that for Mario, like a hyperposable Mario buildable, you know, something like that. That's not all that they've teased. Mario Day discounts are available right now from Nintendo. So if you are not an NSO member, there's a free trial for NSO available until March 17th. So about 2 weeks. The clock's ticking on that. You can also get platinum points for playing Super Mario World on the SNES NSO app. And if you do that, there's special icons you can download, but you have to play the game before you download the icons. Also, select games are $20 off in the eShop: Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario Party, Luigi's Mansion 3. And speaking of Luigi's Mansion, well-known leaker Pioro tweeted this week that we will be hearing about Luigi's Mansion 2 and Paper Mario Thousand Year Door in time, or along with the Mario Day celebrations. And y'all, I don't know who this is, but they're usually right. I mean, everything.
Piero hasn't been missing on this one.
Everything that kind of came out about that they tweeted about the direct was there, right? Yeah. So also you can purchase a Switch, an OLED, or a Switch Lite from retailers like Amazon, Best Buy, GameStop, and Target. Get a $25 gift card from March 10th through the 16th. Mario and Luigi themselves will be at the Nintendo New York store on March 10th to meet and greet. And then also the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Open Tournament starts on March 10th. The top 310 players will receive 1,000 gold points. And GameStop will be doing in-store demos with other Mario-themed items to give away on March 16th from noon to 4 p.m. if you still have a GameStop in your area. So yeah. There's lots of Mario. You know, it kind of feels like, I'll just throw this out here. It kind of feels like Nintendo is putting a little more emphasis on Mario Day this year than they normally do.
It's probably because they don't have a heck of a lot going on in this first half of the year.
That could be true. Or maybe they're gonna like that. It's, hey, let's celebrate, and now here's an announcement about the release date of these two Mario adjacent games.
Yeah, I think that they're leaning into the holiday just a little bit more. Right. I think that they're finding their identity. I think they're finding that people want that kind of celebration. So I think that they're just finding more ways to lean into it. But I mean, yeah, like these are all great things and they're also opportunities for them to try and drive some more sales before the end of the fiscal year. Right. So let's discount costs. So
absolutely. Let's move on to some other news here. BAFTA Game Award nominees have been announced. This year, the nominees are Baldur's Gate, Alan Wake 2, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Brothers Wonder, Spider-Man 2, and Dave the Diver. It's an interesting list.
The not indie cool game.
Yeah, the indie, not indie. I think it's cool, though, to see Nintendo there with 2 awards for that, or nominees. I just think it's neat. It's 2 of the best games from last year.
Yeah, and actually, even as you move over to like I don't want to call it every category thing the best games. I think another one to call out is family. In these games, the nominations include Cocoon, Dave the Diver, Disney Illusion Island, Hi-Fi Rush, Hogwarts Legacy, and Super Mario Brothers Wonder. So all those minus Hi-Fi Rush are available on the Switch. Although, let's mark this down in the history books, potentially. Here's a prediction, ladies and gentlemen. I believe it's next week. Sony has announced that Hi-Fi Rush is coming. I think it's like March 19th, middle of next week, coming out on PlayStation. Don't be shocked if Nintendo shadow drops Hi-Fi Rush that day, by the way, also. Just a prediction I have.
You don't think it's going to be like Sony gets 2, Nintendo gets 2?
Well, here's the thing. If you look at the press release, Sony got 2 and Nintendo got 2, right? So that's fair. If you look at the press release, the dates for Grounded and for Pentiment, when it came out on Nintendo Switch, and then they said, and also PlayStation 5, and also PlayStation 5, on the exact same dates. So the dates that they released on Nintendo Switch, they're also released on PlayStation 5. So then PlayStation 5 said, well, we have Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves, and here are the days that we're going to release them. Cool. Don't be shocked if Nintendo happens to shadow drop Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush on the exact same day that they come out on the PlayStation 5. Just a crazy prediction, but they didn't put that in the press release. It won't be in the press release. Just a theory I have.
Not a prediction, maybe a spoiler.
Well, why would Sony's dates match Nintendo's dates and Nintendo's dates not match Sony's dates? And when the belief is that, especially for like Grounded and Sea of Thieves, that they want to build a community and get lots of players on board as soon as possible, it makes logical sense that the servers go online at the same time, so that more people are playing it.
Would you jump on Hi-Fi Rush?
I wish we'd have had the X-Files music going behind that.
What was that, Tim?
Would you jump on Hi-Fi Rush if it comes to
the
Switch?
For sure. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah,
Hi-Fi Rush come to the Switch and Sea of Thieves come to the Switch. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I'll just pick them up on PS5.
Get out of here.
Anyway, start my PlayStation Dads podcast now that I can play on the internet.
You and John can work that out.
That's what's been holding us back. Marty having internet has been holding us back from PlayStation Dads.
That's it. A couple other. Well, speaking of Nintendo news, this is in our news. PlayStation Persona 3 Reload.
I put this in because I still think it's coming to a Nintendo system in the future.
Probably not.
But
Persona 3 Reload DLC roadmap was announced alongside the Xbox Partner Direct yesterday. Wave 1 will be March 12th, which is background music sets based on Persona 4 and 5. Wave 2 will be May. It will get Velvet costumes and more background music. And Wave 3, episode Aegis, The Answer, which is previously only available on the PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 2 version of Persona 3. That is our news.
Yeah. I just wanted to add, that was the biggest complaint about the Persona Portable release, Persona 3 Portable, is that it didn't come with The Answer, which as it was originally part of the FES, and people were arguing when Reload was announced. Okay, where's the answer? Okay, now we finally have the answer.
The answer is the answer.
Yes,
I found a reason. Yeah, and the reason is you. Well, that's our news. Let's pause for a minute from a message from our good friends over at Manscaped.
All right, so we're gonna do this in the Irish accent.
Good luck with this.
This is a St. Patrick's Day ad read. So if you are Irish and if you know me, I apologize. Top of the morning to you. This episode is brought to you by St. Patrick's Day Shamrock Shavers, Manscaped. This year you'll be chasing your rainbows, making your own pot of gold, and grooming your little leprechaun with the leaders in below the kilt care. So first, that's below the kilt. That's not okay. Sure, look at. Say goodbye to your clover forest with Manscaped's Lawnmower 5.0 and let your confidence shine bright.
Embrace the luck of the Irish and join 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. Head over to manscaped.com and use the code NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off and free shipping. That code again is Manscaped. Oh, shit. That code again is NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off and free shipping. It's the luck of the leprechauns, ladies and gentlemen, the shamrocks. Sure, look at, would you not now? Would you not? Oh, boy. A lot of things happened in that ad read. So first, I apologize to the entire country of Ireland. That was a brutal Irish accent at times, and I was reading the ad read fresh. Hopefully, the accent wasn't bad. If you're Irish, you recognize that accent went all the way from Waterford straight up to past Dublin and all the way to Belfast is where that accent went. And I apologize for all of that.
You were an equal opportunity offender for the entire country. So
the entire country should be
really
very upset with me right now. So yeah, folks, listen, Manscaped, always a great supporter of our show. Thank you so much of course, we love Manscaped products. We think you will too. We 100% recommend. We've been using them for, oh my gosh, 2 years now. And we've been using them long before they even sponsored us. So again, if you're looking for fantastic manscaping products and not just below the belt trimming, I was in Hawaii for the last several weeks, and I was using the razor for my beard to keep it nice and trim, so all the photos looked really good. I was out, taking the shirt off for getting the guns in the sun. You know what I'm saying, y'all? And so I was making sure that I was, some body shaven to look okay for the beach as well. And of course, it's hot and sweaty there and humid in Hawaii. So what do I got? I got some deodorant on the balls, right, as you need it. And of course, Manscaped, all those products they have available for you. And so I'd highly recommend, again, head over to manscaped.com, use the code NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off and free shipping. Sure, look at top of the morning to you there, lads. Thank you very much for support from manscaped.com.
All right, guys, it's time. Nope.
Pretty sure if I ever go back to Ireland, they will tell me, they will turn me around.
They're going to say, no,
we'd like you to watch this video, sir.
They will.
We'd like to tell you how offensive it is. And I'd say, I know exactly how offensive it is.
Your visa is denied.
Yeah, you're not going back. It is time for our question of the week. And in celebration of March 10th, Mario Day, I thought the appropriate question for this week would be, what is your favorite favorite Mario power-up of all time and why? And so as you guys think about that, we're going to go to our community for some answers here. Hambo Johnny says, so many great power-ups to choose from, but if I have to pick one, it's got to be the cape suit from Super Mario World. Then he asked us a question, is Yoshi a power-up?
No, he's a companion.
He's a pal.
He's a pal.
I think that wonder helped establish him as a, yes, you can ride Yoshi, but yes, he's also his own, I mean, it was already established before that, but it sets it apart a little bit, right?
And he likes you so much that he will do it under distress if you are elephant.
That's
now,
right.
I will say, if you skin Yoshi and put him on like a jumper, then I think that's a superpower.
Oh.
But if he's still alive and conscious and like has decision making, he's not that.
We've gone
Justin.
to a very dark place.
Just saying.
Yeah. Shannon Nino says, hands down, it's the raccoon / Tanuki suit. The first time getting to fly in a Mario game blew me away, and I felt like it controls perfectly. Hoots says, does Cappy count? He made Odyssey the best Mario game of all time. Mecha Dragon says, my favorite one has to be.
I was going to say Cappy. If Yoshi's a companion, I'd say Cappy would be a companion as well.
Yes.
Cappy's a living being.
He's a living being sitting on.
But he does grant an ability. So, yeah. So
that's the problem I have. The ability comes back to. Well, hold on a second. Cappy brings the ability back. Mario changes into the ability, but Cappy still exists as it sits on top of the head of whatever it is.
So Mario is a power-up for Cappy.
Mario is the avatar unto which the power
Mario
transposes itself.
No, Mario. Becomes,
You know what Cappy is? Cappy is Venom.
Yeah, he's a symbiote.
Yeah, Cappy is Venom. Exactly is what's happening here.
Yeah,
That's exactly what it is.
Cappy kind of scares me.
Because like as I think of like when Mario turns into a T-Rex, Cappy is still on his head.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that Mario turns into, Cappy is still on top of.
But you know, when Mario, like when we first see him use Cappy, right?
Where does the mustaches come from?
It's very much implied that Mario is sucked into the body of the thing that he's. So Mario is the power up.
Yeah, the idea is that Mario's soul and is being transported into the cap, thrown across, and then being injected into the creature or being. I think we need to have a longer conversation about whether Cappy is a war crime criminal.
Mario is dead in Super Mario Odyssey.
For sure.
Cappy is the only thing tying him to the reality.
Yes.
And so when Cappy goes on to something else, Mario has to enter that thing.
So it's like Weekend at Mario's instead of Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, I don't know. We're getting into some weird stuff. Mecha says that his favorite one is the Mega Mushroom from the first new Super Mario game. Seeing Mario grab it and basically become a huge kaiju in the level while stomping on everything in his path was one of the best moments in Mario history. I hope they bring that power up back in some capacity. They did, Mecha Dragon. They brought it back in the excellent Super Mario 3D World, which is a must play. It's on Nintendo Switch. Go play it. Victoris GX says Hammer Bro suit from Super Mario Brothers 3. It was probably the first instance of OP in video game history. I remember getting that for the first time and going, oh my gosh, what have we done? Zablanc says definitely Tanuki suit for Mario 3. Love it when Mario gets it and grows a raccoon tail and ears. And then a tie, and he announces what fiscal year Nintendo is in. And all the Koopas are like, no way.
Wow.
Yeah.
That went places.
Checking us out here in the chat, Michael Burgett says Tanuki suits. You can fly and turn into a statue. Gotcha Sprinkles and Wolfie says, I love the frog suit from Mario 3. He looks funny.
Yeah.
And then Ninfrendo says T-Rex with a mustache. All right, guys, it's your turn. What is your favorite Mario power-up and why?
I do love the Tanuki suit. I think with Mario 3, when you got it was just brilliant. Like when I play Mario Kart 8, I always use Mario in the Tanuki suit. And I also love like when you hold it, he turns into the stone for a moment or the statue. And then like there's just something about that is just like, that's awesome. I really love that. The
they just left out the giant balls.
Yeah. The squirrel suit is also kind of the fun one too. I like the squirrel suit.
Yeah. And I'm sure with like myself, but a lot of Americans, so it's probably their first introduction to what a Tanuki is.
Yeah. And you don't want to go Google that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tim, Jesse, what about you guys?
Go ahead, Jesse.
All right. My answer is the Gigabell from Bowser's Fury.
Yes, I was going to say that one.
Wow.
Yeah. It's just, I always found, like I am now a kaiju and I will just kill everything right now.
Yeah.
When that happens.
Yeah. It's tough to beat that one, isn't it?
I mean, it's like if Mecha likes kaiju, come on.
Yes.
That's the one, right? That's the one.
That was going to be my first pick, but then if you want to talk like older games, I always loved stealing Goomba Shoe. That was always fun.
Yes, I loved the Goomba Shoe. Absolutely. Yeah. I think for mine, I'm gonna go. Like I thought about this long and hard, and I was like, I got to narrow it down to one, and I got down to three, and I couldn't. I just
got to narrow it down to one. I got down to three.
Well, I got down to three. I love Mario games are my favorite games besides Mega Man. So it's hard for me to pick. But so I decided that I would. These are the three, and this is it. And to me, they're all kind of equal. Number one is the Fire Flower. Nobody said Fire Flower, but it was like that moment when I got that in the very first Super Mario game, it broke my mind. Like, I'm like, I could shoot fire. Why can he shoot fire? And of course, there's no answer, right? Because so you just, as a kid, or playing it, you just accepted it. Of course, he could shoot fire. He's Mario, right? So that one, the other one that I love is the carrot from Super Mario Land 2.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the bunny ears.
Rabbit Mario, and that you could like glide across. You know, it just made so many parts of that game so much easier. But then number 3 is maybe this is a deep cut, but it's the Weird Mario mushroom from Super Mario. Because Weird Mario, we need to see more Weird Mario, right? Like just this weird gangly, I don't know. It's almost, it's very off-putting when you see him.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's like a horror movie version of Mario.
He is a weird one.
Yeah. And so, you know, there's a ton of, like, I just looked, I Googled this, like, what are the Mario power-ups, you know, because there's been so many now. Throughout the different games. There's like, I don't know, we could go forever talking about these. I would flip this question on its head though and ask this: what is the power up in Mario that you hate the most? The worst one.
Probably would have said the frog suit in Mario 3.
Okay.
It's because there is legitimate good places to use it, but if it's not in those spaces, it is garbage. It is a detriment to your mobility.
Yeah. What about you, Tim?
I'm trying to think like which ones I didn't like. I don't know. Do you have one, Marty?
Yeah,
I can't think.
I can think of a couple. Ghost Mario. I think that was Mario Galaxy 2.
Okay.
It just wasn't fun. It was like Mario was slow and it didn't really use it that much. The other one that I can think of that I just really didn't like was actually in Super Mario Wonder is Bubble Mario. It was not my
that was gonna be my other choice. I love the bubble one. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Really? I don't
I got another one from 3D World.
Okay.
The Goomba mask.
Oh yeah.
Where it's not really a power up. It is just, I'm a Goomba now. So don't hurt me.
Did they not see that the legs are different? Goombas don't pay good attention to detail.
They might not have good peripheral vision.
That's true. I mean, they're just living mushrooms. Well, anyway, guys, that's just fun. I hope you play some Mario this weekend to celebrate Mario Day on Sunday, and tell us on our X or on our Instagram or on Facebook what your favorite Mario power up is, and we would love to know. Let's talk about a couple of events, shall we? The dinner table or the table is coming up. It's going to be this next Friday, right? The next Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern. This is where the community gets together at the table to discuss whatever's on everyone's mind. If you would like to be a part of this, these chats are not recorded. They're not archived anywhere, so it's a completely safe space to just come in and hang out with fellow dads and fans of the show. You have to be a subscriber via Patreon or Twitch to get access to the Discord, and that's where that occurs. You'll see a room pop up. It'll be the table, and you can come in there and hang out. And yes, also, Dads After Dark has an event going on right now with Golfinity, and you can find out more about that in our Discord as well.
That just wrapped up. so we
Oh,
should
it just
remove
wrapped
that
up.
line.
Well, if it's in the notes, I'm going to read it. I'm sorry. I would no. If you go and try to find that, it's not there. More coming soon. They have an event coming soon. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you watching out for me in the notes.
Next time, Jesse will have to remember to put something there that he will be like, "Oops, I said that on the air."
Stop. Don't say that. Yeah. So those are our events. Let's take a quick timeout.
Okay, so yeah, I for some reason I go, yeah, I'm looking at the card guard that I use for poker, and it's just like a dummy poker chip that I got from somewhere else that just doesn't match the tournament chips and the events I play at. So yeah, Tim's showing.
I have a U of M one that I use for chip and golf because it has a marker on it for when you need to mark your ball.
Clever.
So.
Anyway, so I thought
not as cool as the one you're about to say.
So I wanted to order one, and I'm like, if I'm going to order one, let's have one custom made. So I think I ordered two of these. I think these are like $16-17 each from a provider on Amazon. That as part of the order, I provide whatever custom image I want. I choose the background color I want from a selection of like 60 options, and then I can say what if I want text on the back. So I had one made with our logo on it.
That is so awesome.
And on the back says Nintendo Dads Podcast.
I love how it looks.
So I haven't had a chance to use this yet, but I'll probably be playing a lot of poker next week with the wife out of town and no school. So I'll have a chance to actually use this and see what other people's reaction to it.
Sweet. I like how the tie lines up. It looks like it lines up with a diamond on that wheel.
Yeah, that's just dumb luck, I think. I'm sure that wasn't on purpose.
It lines up very well with the diamond there, and it works out very well. So love it.
Right. So apparently it was manufactured somewhere in Canada, so it was shipped through the Canada Post, which means it sat in customs for a few days. And once I finally broke through customs, I still didn't get any notification about where it is by looking at the tracking number. So I'm like, this will come when it comes. And it just showed up the other day.
Does it smell like maple syrup?
It did not. No, there was no smell to it.
That means you did test it. I like that.
Nope, doesn't smell.
You would think that there, be at least a hint of syrup. I don't know. Yeah. Tim, what about you? What's your timeout this week?
So mine is I kickstarted a book kids book that Joshua Taylor, our friend Joshua Taylor, did, and had someone did some art for it, and I finally got it. It's this book here, the wonderfully wild adventures of Kana and Charlie. So I picked that up, and I figured it'd be fun to read if, maybe one day I have grandkids, because my kids are too old for this now. Or, nieces and nephews or whoever, I have a kids book that I can read to them. But Joshua signed it too, and it said, "In honor of all the Nintendo Dads kids, Josh." He signed
That's
it.
awesome.
So I thought that was pretty cool. And I can't wait to be able to read it. And I was thinking about I haven't done a reading on our channel in a long time. I did the Mario book one, the golden books one, little books. And I thought maybe I'd read a few pages of this one just for fun, sometime. But it's cool. I got this, and I love the artwork in it. The artist that they got to do it, Jeremiah Morgan, did a really good job on this stuff. So it's not color, it's black and white, but maybe if this does well,
wow.
Or somebody colors really well, they'll have fun with that too. It could be a coloring book. So
I think we should have a subsection of our YouTube channel that's story time with Uncle Tim.
there we go.
Just you in a rocking chair in front of a roaring fire,
There we go.
out in a cabin in the woods.
I got a fireplace back there. I can
Yes.
get going.
Okay. All right. Let's do this.
Maybe after I redo this room, because I got a plan to redo this room. I'm gonna move my desk and get a stand-up desk so that the fireplace will be behind me
Okay.
and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully, when that's done, I'll make that a goal. Once that's done, then I'll
Uncle
do
Tim's story spot.
that.
I like it. I like it. Well, I don't have a timeout this week as usual. So let's just move into what we've been playing, shall we?
All right.
Jesse, let's start with you. What you been playing this week?
So I just have one game. I've been playing more of the Pixel Cross Story of Season game that I talked about last week. Like 70% done with everything. I think I have like 120 puzzles left, and then that game is 100% complete. Kind of was just spending Picross time, waiting for the Princess Peach game to come out. So again, once this is done, I've got a whole bunch of Picross S Plus to play.
Yeah. So did you get did you download the demo for Showtime?
I did not. I just kind of want to go into that game blind.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well, we'll talk about it.
That's fine.
Me and Tim can talk about it. Tim, what you playing?
Well, besides Princess Peach Showtime, I'm sure me and Justin will talk about it because I see it in Justin's list if he gets back in time. I'll talk about it. But I've been playing some more Balatro. That's that poker roguelike game. That I just can't get enough of. I jumped back into it after playing some other games. I wanted to take a break from it, jump back into that. So having a lot of fun with that. There is a video of it out there on our channel in case anybody's curious about Balatro. Balatro. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right.
I think so.
Did it go back up for sale? I know it had gotten taken down in a couple of places.
I think it's only in Nintendo's console that they've had the problem, and they were working that out. Last I saw,
because some European countries, saw the poker aspects and said this should be rated as any other gambling sim would be rated, even though it's not a gambling game.
Even though they worked directly with each of the rating systems to make sure this didn't happen, it still happened, which has got to be frustrating on their part.
Mm.
So, but it is still available here in the US on the eShop, Nintendo eShop.
Yeah, I did do one run of the game I forgot about, and I got to the 6th anti-boss, and it ended up being like a 2-pair run. That for some reason 2-pair was my strong hand. I used the celestial cards to bump it up to level 6. I had one of the boss fights is whatever hand you play, you must play that hand. So that was 2-pair. I think I took them out with 3 2-pairs.
Right. And if you keep playing that hand, did you have the Joker that helped multiply that or give you some more points?
Not in
the count.
I had one that gave me like 60 points or 40 points per unused discard. Okay. And then I had enough like multipliers that would give me at least 15 to 20 multipliers. So that's a 1. If I don't discard, that is guaranteed a plus 160 coin times it's 20. So it really didn't matter what I played. I had some pretty high chip counts.
Nice.
Until the boss I came across was, after you play a hand, the cards you receive are face down. I'm like,
yeah.
that killed my run.
I had right now I'm on a run where I paid for a voucher to be able to pay $10 to change the boss auntie's um
That
hours.
that I've had that before, and it is can
I
come in
like that
handy.
one. Yeah, that's coming handy this time around because the one boss that I thought I was gonna get killed at, and then I remembered that I had that $10 option was the halving of your points and multipliers boss.
I think I found that one.
Oh man, that boss, I hate that one. Between that and the wall, there's a wall one where it's just like an obscene amount of chips you have to get in order to win that boss.
I think I came across that one. It basically doubles your chips requirements.
Yeah. And was not prepared for that.
Yeah, so instead of 12,000, it was 24,000 for me.
Right.
And I was able to defeat that one.
Yeah, I ran into that a couple times where I wasn't prepared. So, all right, Balatro, I'm sure we could talk about a lot on, but it is again
Coming
it's a
next
lot of fun.
week, Balatro Dads.
I also played A Void Hope. It is a game that came out this past just before this weekend, I think it was. It is a quick, they say you can finish it within 3 hours. Of course, that means it'll do double the time for me because it had things you can find and backtrack and do. So I go into Metroid search mode, so it's like I'd spend more time in the game, but I still beat it, rolled credits. It's a quick, unique narrative story that you can play, and kind of you can kind of surmise what the story is about yourself, but it does give good information as to what's going on in the story and what you can kind of put together as to what you're doing and why you're doing it. I don't want to give it away because it's a short story, and I want to make sure that if people want to play Avoid Hope, that they get a chance. Again, it's an indie game that came out. The indie channel on Twitter, reminded me about it when it came out and launched, and I was like, oh, cool, I want to play that. And luckily, we had the developer and the publisher gave us a code for that, so I was able to jump on that one and play it, and I'm glad I did. It's a great, short, quick game to play over the weekend if you're looking for some good, quick games to play. Also, because I've been spending so much in Balatro, I took a break from that and decided to jump into Pocket Card Jockey Ride On, because I loved that game on the 3DS. And when I went to play it on the Switch just recently, I remembered nothing when I played it on the 3DS. So I had to relearn a lot of the strategies I might have learned when I played it on the 3DS. I don't know if they changed some things, but nothing was like, what am I doing? I know how to play solitaire, but this game is killing me. So it's like there's some strategies there that I definitely have to learn, and did learn. I went to YouTube, of course, to try to see what it was I missing. And there's a lot of tricks and stuff to do in order to understand where your horse is going and how to best place it on the track in order to get the best stride going, and also energy, and also other things. And then you play your cards, your solitaire cards. So you're basically playing solitaire in order to get the best run on your horse. So what I discovered too while playing it, it feels almost like Pocket Card Jockey, when I played it on the 3DS, might have been a roguelike game before I knew what a roguelike game was. And I don't think they even categorize this as a roguelike game either. But it feels like it. There's some aspects of it because you're playing solitaire, you get some power-ups to help you through a run, and you only get to keep certain cards or certain power-ups in that specific race. And then you lose them when you're done with that race. But the only thing you can get is skills and experience, which can then give you more abilities to pass on to the next race. And then there's other elements of that game too, where once you got to the 4th year with your horse, then you can start breeding horses with that horse. So, and then you also have the ability to ride other horses as well, which I just opened up. There's a lot of things I don't remember doing on the 3DS, and that I'm learning in this game. So, and I loved the 3DS version. I had a lot of fun with that one. Maybe I didn't go as far as I thought I did on there, but happy to play it again. Again, that's Pocket Card Jockey Ride On. Great game, another card-based game, but this one uses a solid tier system. They do have a demo, so I'd go check that out. And we also do have videos on that game as well as Void Hope. I mentioned that earlier. We do have a video on that one as well. So
And,
so far,
and if you have an iOS device, I think it's still on Apple Arcade.
yes. So if you got Apple Arcade, you can play it there for free, or because you're already paying for it for free. Yes, air quotes. Another game that's on our channel that I did a first look at and have been playing on and off after that is New Star GP. It's a racing game, kind of like an F1 racing game. And I don't usually do those type of racing games because I like drifting more than in a lot of the race car games that I play, or even like Burnout, where you do some drifting and then take out other cars, and stuff like that. New Star GP isn't like that. It's more like F1, and it has a lot of the race courses that I guess is maybe not F1 race courses, because I know there's different types of races that use cars that look like Indy cars or F1 cars or kart cars. I don't know all the ins and outs of that, but I do know that New Star GP was a lot more fun than I expected. The reason why I wanted to try it was because it reminded me of Sega's Virtua Racing. So if you know what that is from the back in the day, it has some of that polygon look to it, but it's a little bit more crisp, a little bit nicer looking, even on the Switch. And one of the reasons I really like this game is because it eases you into how to drive those courses, which can be overwhelming if you go to simulator games like Gran Turismo, where you have to follow the line and you have to be really close to it. And be on top of braking or slowing down or doing all these things right on the money. This game allows you to pick how you want to play, whether you want to be, full 100% simulation, or if you need the help, you get the help you need. And so far, so good. I'm loving this type of race game. It's a new experience for me as far as the type of cars you can race. You can even pick some of the racers. I don't know if the racers are real or not, but they keep saying, like you can pick racers from the 90s and the 2000s and the tracks that were on there. The only thing I was disappointed about, there was no, and maybe because this circuit doesn't in this game goes through Detroit, but I know we get Indy cars that come through Detroit for real in the summertime, and the races used to race on our island over here in Detroit, Belle Isle. But now that this past year they did it in downtown Detroit again, like they used to back when I was a kid. And I was kind of disappointed I didn't see Detroit on the map. That would have been really cool for me, at least. But again, that's New Star GP, another racing game that I recommend you check out there. And of course, I played Princess Peach Showtime. I did a stream of it. So that's also out there too. And we'll be talking about that some more. So Marty, go ahead.
Yeah, so this week I've been playing a lot of games, or most of the games I've played have been on PS5 because I've got a big backlog there of some pretty big games, and I want to start working my way through those. That's kind of my goal for this year. So Spider-Man 2, I finally was able to finish up, and I will probably go back and try to finish up some more things on it. I'm pretty close to 100% already. I think I was 80 something percent done when I finally beat the game, because I just could not quit doing side quests. But
Makes sense.
the last 3 or 4 hours of that game was pretty epic. And I know last week I talked about it and I said, it and Miles Morales and the first Spider-Man are all kind of the same game, and they still are, but it still doesn't every Marvel movie is kind of the same too, but that doesn't stop you from enjoying them. So the final battle and just there's just some moments that I want to talk about that I probably still can't. But I also
Spoilers.
digging back into Final Fantasy Remake after not finishing that when it first came out. I got, let's say, I don't know, I don't know where I got to because the story is so different. It had been so long. I want to say chapter 7 or 8 when I played it originally, and so I am playing it with a walkthrough just so I don't miss some things, and mainly playing it so I know what level I need to be at and whether I need to attempt certain things at certain levels. So and for material loadouts and stuff. But I've been kind of harsh on the Final Fantasy VII remake about how much I don't enjoy the combat and I don't really care. Like I just wanted the original game made pretty. Like
Right.
that's really what I wanted, and I don't know if I will stick with this. I'm going to finish it because I'm interested in Rebirth as well. But the good news is that at the pace I'm going, I should finish Remake, and by the time I get and finish Rebirth, and the eventual DLC that I know is probably coming, then the third part of it will be close to coming out.
There you
So I'm taking the Tim Breath of the Wild approach to it.
There you go.
But the other game
Yeah.
that I played, I'm
I
sorry.
was gonna say, I was gonna say, I would love to see a Final Fantasy VI remade, but if they're gonna turn it into an action RPG like they've done with 7 and 15 and 16, I'm like, no, I don't want it.
Yeah, it's still not my favorite thing that they've ever done, but I'm enjoying it. Tim and I both got a chance to check out the Princess Peach Showtime demo, which was shadow dropped last night, just out of the blue. I wanted to try it last night and ended up falling asleep on the couch before I had a chance. And then I was really, really busy today, so I got to play it like about an hour before we came on to record. It's interesting, right?
Yeah. It's a short
This,
demo.
yeah, it's a very short demo. So to kind of set this up for those of you who haven't played it yet, you get a little glimpse of the story. Peach gets a newspaper and it talks about these shows going on at this theater. Once you go, you're confronted by the villain who's named Grape for some reason. And all of her minions are called the Sour Bunch, and they all look like living grapes, which is really weird. And you meet these creatures who are kind of like I don't know, they're like yellow and they have like noses that change color depending on how their mood. And they're very interested in something called sparkle. And the better the show, the more sparkle it has. And so the sour grapes come or the sour bunch comes along with grape and they ruin all the plays they're about to go on. And so this spark or whatever, Stella, teams up with Peach and gives her the ability to bring light back to the sets and defeat enemies. And you get to play as, of course, the core mechanic being the costume transformation mechanic. You get to play as two of those, one of which is infinitely better than the other one. And so you get to play as the sword fighter Peach and the patissiere Peach. Sword fighter's fun. I mean, it's just combat.
Yes.
It's straight out. You're saving the king of the Theets. Thank you, Tim. Theet, Theets, like, theater. The Theets. You're saving the king of the Theets from the Sour Bunch and these vines that are popping up. So you're chopping away at those, and you're learning how to dodge and do combos, which actually, the game uses 2 buttons.
It was a hack and slash.
Yeah. Then we get to the patissiere, and it's a fart in a bag. It's terrible. I was not impressed with this at all. I did notice that each one of those that we played was like the symbol for the costume -1, which means that I think there's going to be multiple levels of those.
Or upgrades.
Yeah, but the patissiere one sees you basically walking around the set,
It's like a
pushing
mini
buttons
game,
when
right?
you're told to, and then decorating cakes but they don't really like you're making cookies and cakes, but really it's just hold down the B button until the right time. Then press the B button to put the cake on or to put the cookies on the cart. And then it's
You
here.
have to get that timing down.
You're
You have
going
to
to
get
be
that timing down.
you're going to be suspended from a swing and you're going to squirt icing on the top of these giant cakes. But we're not going to really tell you what happens. We're just going to give you a half-drawn diagram of them. And if you do them right, then the cakes will blossom and they'll like be real. Like the frosting will change color and do all this stuff like it's supposed to. So whereas in the sword fighter one, you get these big sparks. They're green if you do things well or if you find them. I got all of those in the sword fighter level. In the patissiere level, I missed 5 of them because they didn't explain the cake part at all. And that was part of it. And then the cookie part, like they're like, press the B button. And then it starts like when the cookie starts to go over the bowl, I'm like, well, crap, I'm spilling it. So you're not spilling it. You have to hold it down until the dough turns rainbow and gets rocks on it for some reason. And then it makes more cookies. And then you get your
It
spark.
doesn't sound like healthy cookies.
So I'm sure there's more to it than that. But honestly, to me, like it as the second half of that demo, it fell pretty flat. I did not like the patissiere costume at all. The sword fighter, give me more of that. Like the ninja costume, give me more of that. The detective, I'm anxious to try out these other costumes. The game looks gorgeous. The music's fun. Controls it's a Nintendo game, so controls are spot on. But this is like the Mario versus Donkey Kong demo a little bit in that it gave us some, but I don't know that it gave us enough. Like one more costume may have been like the sweet spot, right? Like one more preview.
What I got out of it from those two things, it seems like each theater that you go and help is basically a mini game.
Yeah.
And then the pastry one was a bunch of mini games in the mini game to save it, because like you said, you got to go do the cookie thing, and then you got to do the cake thing. It felt like it was a bunch of like Mario Party mini games in that one particular theater, which I didn't mind. Is actually there was some points like the cake thing, like you said, it was like I was trying to figure out the designs and get that done and trying to beat the timer and all that. It was fun because people were watching on the stream, so it was pretty fun and
Yeah.
getting that one. But I like the sword one a little bit better because I'm a hack and slash fan, and I felt like it was like that was the hack and slash version of Princess Peach, so.
Beer Bear asks if this is voucher worthy, and I will say I hope so because I spent a voucher on it.
As
I
did
did.
I.
I did as well. I did as well. Yep.
So I don't know.
I think it's voucher worthy if you're going to have your kids play. Because it's definitely and you like collect-a-thons because this feels like it's going to be a collect-a-thon too.
Tim, this was something I was going to ask you too about this is who is this, like, in your opinion, after playing the demo, who is this game for? Because it seems really easy, but I wonder if it's going to do the typical Nintendo thing of get really difficult later on.
That's what I said when I was streaming it. I said, right now it seems easy. And I could say this might be, for your kids to play or, a fun time with, if your kids are too young to play or get the mechanics of it, you play for them and you have a good time, But it could be that Nintendo, formula where as the levels progress, it gets harder and harder. Plus, if you miss something, you got to go back. Like any other Mario level. If you miss a coin or something like that, like the purple coins or whatever in Mario Wonder, if you miss something, you got to go back into that theater and collect it. Because I didn't fare so well. I didn't realize there were some of those stars that you collect are hidden.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kept just moving forward through the bakery one level and not looking for hidden stars there either. And I missed like a couple that way. Like there was one off to the side of the stage behind the curtain if you didn't go look. And I happened to just find that one. So if you're into collectathons, I can see this being not as much as say Donkey Kong games, but it's got a mixture of that where you got to make sure you collect all the stars and collect all to make sure you get in all the ribbons so that you can collect all her dresses and outfits, and all that kind of stuff. So, but I see this as in potential. Who's it for? Probably uh kids. It's it's Nintendo. It's for kids and parents to play for the kids. But we don't know for sure because it's only a demo, and could totally be much harder as you get higher up in the levels.
Right. Yeah. I like it's hard to tell. And that's like, I think that Nintendo, like as a first party developer, still needs to work on deciding what a demo is for them. I know that it is like part of it is they do not want to give anything away, right?
Yeah, there's something more there for sure.
But also, this game's out in 3 weeks.
That's a long way away.
And like, I'm not saying they have to give it all, but like, I think that this is fine as a demo, but I don't know that it's going to change anybody's mind about the game.
Yeah.
So
it is a kid friendly. I put it the same level as Yoshi games, but those Yoshi games definitely get harder.
That's a good point. It did feel like a Yoshi game. And it was developed by Goodfeel. And I'm looking to see, they also did Yoshi's Crafted World and Yoshi's Woolly World and Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World and Wario Land Shake It. So
those games are definitely something where you can let your kids play, but those are collectathons as well, where if you are one of those people who like to get 100% the game, then you're going to be going back for your kids, or you're playing to get 100% of those things.
Yeah, but I guess what I was saying is they also did Kirby's Epic Yarn. And
nice.
So I like, and Mario and Luigi Dream Team. It's Giant Battles. They were the ones who did those.
Okay.
So I like these games. And
those are all games that are
I
good.
think that's probably why when I was playing through the demo, I was like, this feels like a Yoshi game, which is fine. And they do a really good job in the Yoshi games of being very creative with how the collectibles
Yes.
And different things. But they also do things where if you don't get the collectible at just that right moment, then it's gone and you'll never get it. And it's frustrating.
Right.
Having to play that level 5 times. So I think this is, it's going to be good. I don't know that it's
got some good developers behind it.
So. I don't it's not going to blow any sales records or anything. Right.
Right.
But it's still going to be good. So
did you play it in handheld or on your TV or both?
I played it on handheld.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did you think of the look in playing it in handheld?
It's a little fuzzy.
Yes. So when I was playing it on stream, it looked beautiful. It was crisp and clean. Because I was playing it, I had it up on the screen and I could see it was crisp and clean. And I was like, oh man, I can't wait to see what this looks like on the OLED. I bet you that's going to look just pop and look great with all these colors. I was very disappointed in how it looked on handheld mode.
So it still looks pretty good, but it was enough that I noticed it. I was like, oh, this doesn't really look as polished as what we've seen in the trailers.
And granted, I know it's a demo and I'm sure the final version's probably got that polish, but I think probably for me going from TV to handheld definitely made it more obvious for me that it's not as crisp and clean in handheld. And then, I wonder if there's something going along the lines of
scaling back there. So, although I don't entirely see what would cause it to do that, but
it looked great on the screen when I was watching it. It was like,
we'll see.
That looks great.
It might just need a little optimization pass right before they release the final product. Well, guys, we would have rounded out the segment with Justin coming in and talking about what he's been playing. but he had to go pick up one of his daughters. He is going to try to come back though. But I'll read off his list just so you know. Mario versus Donkey Kong, Splatoon 3 Side Order DLC, which you can watch a video of him sucking at that game on YouTube.
I got to get back into that.
And Princess Peach Showtime demo. He played that as well. And with that, we're going to round out the show with the community spotlight.
What's up?
Just
we just
one moment too late.
We literally just skipped over you in the what we've been playing, and now we're in the community spotlight. We told them what you've been playing, and said that they can go watch a YouTube video of you sucking really bad at Splatoon 3 DLC on YouTube.
Don't you guys want to know my thoughts on stuff though? Weren't I?
Yeah.
Jesse, roll it back, hit the button again.
Oh my God.
That's the power of being the CEO of a non-existent company.
Well, you literally have 2 minutes.
Cool. 2 minutes. 3 things that I've been playing. Number one, Mario versus Donkey Kong. Yeah, it's all right. You know?
That's exactly what we said last week.
Yeah,
it's just there. It's okay.
I don't like I got it when we like literally released today. We left for Hawaii. I anticipated that I would finish it during my time. And I found that like every day I'd kind of do like 4 or 5 levels and be like, cool, put it down. Cool, put it down. Nothing was really like drawing me or pulling me forward. I enjoy the puzzles. Sometimes I die and sometimes I'm like, oh, I'll try that again. Right. But like nothing. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. If you're interested, I'd maybe put on a wish list and see if there's a discount.
Wait for a price drop.
Splatoon 3 Side Order DLC. I love it. It's awesome. Man, right back into Splatoon 3. You just when I was out, you pulled me back in, you son of a bee. Right? But man, it's great. I love it. It's fantastic stuff. It's challenging. The roguelike mode of it. Yeah, it's great. This is such a good DLC. DLC.
So they got you on the hook.
They did get me on the hook. Ooh, I see what you did there. I see that. So I'd highly recommend it as well. I've done some runs. I know Tim has as well. Tons of fun. Such a great DLC. And then I will give you, I played some Princess Peach Showtime yesterday. And I don't think I'll pick up Princess Peach Showtime. I recognize that it is not for me, and not every game has to be for me.
Yeah.
I'm an adult and understand that. And as I was playing it, I was like, there are some really cool things going on here. And I think this is great. And I love, there are some nuances of it that I'm like, that's really awesome. And I think people are going to enjoy it. That person is not me. And that's 100% okay. And I was like literally halfway through it. And I was like, I could be spending this time playing Mario Wonder or Metroid or something else. So this guy's out. But I can definitely understand there is an audience for this. And I think that like my kids were younger, they would love this game for sure. But that's not the level that I think this is definitely like a, 6 to 10 kind of age range. I know Casey's got his daughter. I think this will fit in like just perfect for her. So excited to see her reactions to it. But yeah, I was like, nothing really felt like it was pulling me forward other than getting the stars or the shiny things or whatever it was. Like there are 10 in this level. And I completed the level. I was like, I only found 8. And then the completionist in me started like twitching a bit. And I was like, where are the other 2? That's the thing that's drawing me, not the combat. Also, the other thing that kind of drew me was like, oh, it's a, like the theater motif to it. I was like, oh, it's adorable, like backstage and kind of a paper, like the aesthetic, the art style, some of those things get you, but like, there's not enough at this Happy Meal to make me happy. So
out of the 2 costumes that you got to play, which one did you like better?
I liked the sword one better.
Did you Did you find that the patissiere one was just, it kind of felt like,
I'm gonna be real
what am
honest
I
with you.
doing here?
I'm gonna be real honest with you. The pastry one, the bakery one, I literally got halfway through, and I was like, nah.
Oh, so you didn't
And
even
just
do the cakes?
no, I did a couple of cakes. I did 3 or 4 cakes, and then I was like, no, we're done here.
All you had to do was 5 cakes.
I did 4 of
And
them.
then
And I was like,
literally the level was over. Like after that, they're like,
yeah,
take this spark thing and put it on top of this giant cake, and then it turned into a spark and the level was over.
no, I was
It was not good.
and so that was an indicator for me, but I was like, I didn't even finish this demo.
You
I
were
was
almost
like,
done with the demo, actually. If you
Doesn't
would
matter.
have finished the cake.
Doesn't matter.
It was literally done 5 minutes later.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was sort of my experience with it. But
Did
that's
you like
okay.
Did you like any of the other games made by this company? What was that company, Marty? Again,
Good feel.
Good
So
feel.
Kirby's Epic Yarn, Yoshi's Woolly World, Yoshi's Crafted
I
World.
liked Yoshi's Woolly World. I think I did Crafted World as well. I didn't do Yarn.
Oh, you missed out on that one then.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, like I think it's gonna be like Yoshi's, like Woolly World and Crafted World. Like I think it's gonna open up. You know, like
Yeah.
like in the beginning it's real simplistic, but then I think that it's gonna become more layered and nuanced as it go on. Their games tend to do that. I
Yeah.
still think
Yeah.
that it's not my age range. Let's put
Yeah.
it that way. But I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna play.
And again, I think we all have to be okay with that, right? Like our critiques are a 43-year-old, gamer who
Yeah.
has experience asking for the following things. When if I give it to like a 6 to 10-year-old, he'd be like, "This is amazing," and you're like, "Yeah, you know what? Video games can be different things to different people, and that's 100% okay,
Sure.
right?" And I think we just have to be like when people are like, "I can't believe Nintendo put the game out. It's not for me." Not every game is for you, and you have to be okay with it. Right. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's now that you've had your time in the spotlight, let's
I'm
turn the
good.
spotlight
I'm
around
good.
to the community. Here we go.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right. This is the best part of the night where we get to talk about what the community sent us and what voicemails they sent us. And don't forget, when you send us a voicemail, you get to be in the drawing for the Impact of Iwata book that we got a copy of that was signed by the author as well. So you'll get that and all the stuff that came with it. So, all right. Speaking of voicemail, Jesse, let's just jump into the voicemail by Mikey.
Hey guys, it's Michael Burgett from the Screen Nerds podcast, and got a question for you this week. I have been playing through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and as I've been going through it, I was reminded of games like it, as well as the Horizon series, the Spider-Man series, and on Nintendo games, the Legend of Zelda series of recent, particularly Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. And one of the things that stood out to me is the number of side quests and side missions, and how whenever they would pop up, I would tend to go to play those before going after the main missions. And so my question to you guys is this. When you're playing a game that has a lot of side quests or side missions, do you tend to play the missions as they come about, like as the side missions come about, or do you do the main story first and then go back and play the side quests? I know for me, I tend to play as many of the side quests as possible before advancing to the main quest, but love to hear your thoughts on it. Thanks, guys.
I'll give you a weird example. When side quests come up, it has to be sort of like, does that really pique my interest, or does that just sound like you're just padding out time? Do you know what I mean? Like, so that's one thing. I'll typically mainline and then sort of maybe side quest every once in a while. Tears of the Kingdom was actually super interesting. I think I talked about this in the show. I'd mainline and then I'd like almost like gather up side quests, right? You can go into that, like, here, your side quests. And I'd have like 8 of them. And I'd be like, yeah, now I'm going to go do those. And so then I'd stop doing the main quest and I'd go do like 8 side quests, right? And then when those are done, I'm like, okay, back to the main one. And then I do the main one. And if I just happen to run into somebody who's then got a quest for me, I'd be like, I'll accept. And I'll just add it to the side quest kind of like list. And then when it got to a number that I felt was sort of unmanageable, then I just go, or if my time was short, do you know what I mean? Like, hey, I've only got like 40 minutes to play before I got to go somewhere. You know what? I can bang out 2 side quests, right? Because they felt very contained. So it's very dependent on it's very dependent on the game, very dependent on if we're reviewing it and if there's an embargo associated with it, right? If we have to kind of mainline or we in side quest. And also like how far into the game I am. Sometimes it's like, listen, I just want to get through this thing, right? I don't need to go find a small child that got lost in the woods. I'm sorry about them. I'm sure it's great, right? Prince of Persia Lost the Crown, great example, right? I finished that with 65% complete. Game done, main story done, some side quests. There are definitely some more additional side quests that I could go complete, but I'm like, I feel like I'm good. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I've got what I need out of it, so I'm out.
I think I just talked about this when talking about playing through Spider-Man 2, that I get distracted by all of the side quests. So in some cases, sometimes I'm glad I do that, because like, especially in those games, the more side quests you do, the faster you progress. And so you unlock abilities and unlock the ability, you're leveling up. And so at the end of the game, when I finally finished and being like somewhere in the range of 80% complete, I'd done a lot of side quests. So I feel compelled to go chase those. Especially if it's not just, hey, I'm going to hand off so and so to their mom after rescuing them from the forest, like you said. But the thing that I think Insomniac does really well with those games is that they'll have a line of side quests where each one builds on the one, and they all end up, and it is a story beat at the end of that, and it fleshes out the world of the game in a really, really neat way. And so I have a hard time making myself do the main quest. Like, I just want to go, there's boxes to find. Sure, let's go find boxes. There's robot spiders. They're appearing out of nowhere. Sure, let's do that. There's a guy over here trying to brand someone with a flaming brand because they're in a cult. Yeah, we'll go beat them up. And then, yeah, it's mission time. Okay, we'll do that.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I don't like it when a game overwhelms me with side quests. So, like, I'm reminded of when I tried playing Mass Effect. I got to a point where there was like, okay, here's everything you can do. Wall of text. Okay, just go, do something. I'm like, I don't know what to do. That's when I shut it down. Like Persona games are good at kind of drip feeding side quests, so they're not overwhelming. And then like the 2 recent Zelda games are also good examples. Where you kind of find them naturally. They're not just thrown in your face, but by exploring the environment and the towns and whatnot. But when I do, I will normally do side quests as soon as I can and put the main quests on hiatus, because usually the rewards will help me down the road. So I want those rewards earlier, and at least in the last 2 Zelda games, I found the main quests to be the worst part of the game. So I held off on the main quests as long as I could. But I love the side quests and the shrines and things like that.
Yeah, that's what got me in trouble with Breath of the Wild, was why it took me a long time to play that game. Also taking a break, but
I think I 100% of the side quests in Breath. I did not in Tears.
Okay. Yeah, but side quests are
but
what
I did most
usually,
of them.
I usually go for side quests as well, because of the power-up reason, wanting to gain more levels, more skills, whatever, to make my character more powerful. So when I go to the main story, I'll be that much more powerful than the bosses I have to end up fighting in that main quest.
Yeah, normally you'll get better armor, better weapon, better something as a result of it that you won't have if you don't do it.
Exactly. So that is usually my choice. And Outer Worlds is one that I chose to do that too. do the side quests first, just so I can get more loot, more items to apply to my, armor, weapons, whatever, and which made the mainline story go that much quicker. Great question. All right, so we got a couple questions in the Discord as well. Mecca asks, have you ever said something that your kids were saying only for them to go, good job, Dad, you killed it? The rule when it comes to memes or funny words, of course, is if the parents start using it, it isn't cool anymore.
I will say that I do not try to use words that my kids do a lot of times, although I will say yeet just because I think it's funny.
That's a funny word.
And
that's such a funny word.
And finna has got in my vocabulary and it will not leave. Like,
I don't know what that one is.
As in, I'm finna go down here and tear up some Taco Bell when we're done with this podcast.
Yep.
Like fixing to.
I know fixing to.
But it's finna.
Finna is used a lot here I'm
finna go tear that up.
My area.
One word that my kids use that I like, I don't know, is my son got on this kick a few years ago, or no, a few months ago actually, where he would sit down. He's like to eat, and he would say, "We're jubbing," and I'm like, What
is the food bussin'?
Oh yeah,
No
I love to do that. I love to do that. Be like this. I just love to walk up next to a group of teenagers and be like, "Yo, these cookies are bussin'." And they're
bussin'.
They look at me like, "What?
Are they removing themselves from the table to be cleaned?"
I like.
Because that's what bussing a table means to me.
The food was delicious.
I like to do it a lot in like a definitely dumb dad embarrassment.
Oh, absolutely,
moment, right? Like all the friends are over, and I'll be like, "Yo, is my fit and my drip bussin'? No cap flex, guys.
Bussin's only for food,
right? No, like and then I'll be like, "Yo, dawg."
So have you heard? There's this new thing that I just found out about where if that they're not speaking, and they'll do this. Like when you speak to a teenager, they'll or like Gen Alpha is apparently doing this a lot. Like doing this.
So just for those who don't know, for the audio, because for the audio folks, this is shite. Marty is just rubbing his finger from like the sideburn down to his jaw.
Yeah, and so
sexy when he's doing it.
And so the thing is, it's called mewing. Like
somebody in the chat knew it.
And so
like mewing like cows?
Not mooing, MEW, mewing. So what?
Like the Pokemon.
The reason that you're doing that is because you're taking your tongue and putting it to the roof of your mouth, and holding it there, so you'll train your jaw. You'll train your jawline. So if you do that,
what the hell's wrong with folks now?
Exactly. If you
legitimately, what is wrong with kids?
If you're trying to talk to somebody and they do the thing with they're pointing and stroking down the jaws, they're mewing. I can't talk. I'm mewing right now.
Can I do this both sides at the same time?
That's the double mew.
Yeah, I've yeah. What about this? Because I just
is that Mew too?
That's
Mew too.
Yeah.
You too.
Dumb. So dumb.
I listen.
That's sus.
I've been I've been so many times that I've had to go to Urban Dictionary and I've got to figure out what are you saying?
Yeah. Pretty much anything. If I try to say it, my daughter will say, "Never say that again," except for the only thing she's accepted that and will is okay for me to use is yeet, as you previously mentioned.
Yeah, yeet.
Speaking of which, we're playing D&D with friends, and my DM created a magic spell called the Spell of Yeeting.
Yes.
Where you're allowed to pick up anything within reason, within weight reason, and yeet it at somebody and cause damage.
Well, even Sea of Stars use yeet.
Yes, they did. That's right. Yes. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I don't get kids nowadays. It just hurts my brain.
So Justin reminds me of a YouTube, or he's probably on TikTok as well, channel that I like to watch. It's Dad Bod Veteran Network.
Mm.
They'll normally start off with some 20-something making a comment on their TikTok channel, and then it just cuts to him. He's got, a beard longer than Tim's and mine, and the veteran hat on, and it's just him on his deck with a camera really close to his face.
Oh
and
yeah,
then
I've seen his stuff before. Yeah,
and then he reacts to it.
yeah.
There's another good one where a guy's dressed up like Hank Hill from King of the Hill,
Nice.
standing out against a fence. And says, "Well, I'll tell you what, Bobby."
Oh, I also wanted to give something back to you, Marty, that I was listening to, because I happened to be finishing off the podcast when I went to go pick up my daughter.
Hey, sure look it, guys. Come on, fiscal years. Come on. Hey, oh, sure look it.
Nice. A little visit from Kermit the Frog there.
Yeah.
And before
Marty's
I
statement
know,
was,
I was
why does Justin sound like Kermit the Frog? And he says, sure look it, guys. Sure look it. Hey, sure look it.
Well, it's just, I was going to do a Justin Bassett impression, and it became Kermit the Frog. And I
Kermit the Frog.
why?
Yeah, I like
Hey,
it. I like it a lot.
hey guys, sure look.
Sure look it.
Thanks for
Oh,
stopping by,
wow.
Kermit. Thank you, Kermit.
All right, yeah.
All right, before I read the last question, just a shout out to everybody who stopped by in our chat and all that fun stuff, like Mikey did, and Koopa Kid 80, Nimfrendo, all the usual suspects, including Mecca, and who else did I see here? Bruce
The
and
Acres.
Sean Capri stopped by as well. Justin's best friend. And who did I miss? Anybody else? A few people stopped by that I might have.
We appreciate
Yes,
everyone.
Beer
yeah,
stopped in, of course. And then one last person I saw, I said Bruce, and then G Acres. That's
G
right.
Acres, yeah.
Yep.
Actually, before you jump to that question, I got a question on Twitter for us. I don't know if
Okay,
maybe
cool.
maybe you grabbed it. Jamie asks, if you were to have a Nintendo-related character as a constant companion, like Navi to Link, for example, who would you pick?
Listen.
My wife gave me the most brilliant answer that I thought was like perfect. And it is the Star Bits from Super Mario Galaxy. They don't say a word, and you can just kind of like zip them around and do whatever you want. That is the perfect companion.
Nice. I'm gonna say a baby Metroid.
Ooh, nice.
That would be my companion. Be my friend. And I have to keep it back from, making sure it didn't suck the life out of anything,
Yeah,
so, but
true.
That feels, to be honest, that feels like a lot of work. Do you know what I mean? Like you couldn't leave it
I could train it.
unsupervised.
I could train
You couldn't
it.
be like, hey, just go in the yard to go pee, baby Metroid, and you just come back and like the mailman's gone. And you're like, son of a gun, come on.
just a dried up husk in the front yard.
Yeah. Right? Like,
God, again.
That's what it'll be a lot of fun. What are you talking about?
Also, like I'd be scared to sleep at night. Like there's a lot of things I'd be concerned.
Yeah. It's just hovering.
It'll
by the bed.
protect me one day and take out Mother Brain when I have to fight
If you need, if it identifies you as its mother.
Yes, that's
If
what I'm
not,
saying.
you're a threat. The obvious answer here, guys, is Poochie.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The most adorable dog made of yarn in the world.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's
He doesn't
one of
make
those
noise
amiibos
either.
I wish I got a hold of, and I
He
missed
does
out
not
on
make
that one.
noise. He just runs around, and you can stand on top of him, and he helps you get things.
I'm also going to maybe call out Ocho.
Say Ochi.
Four.
Yeah,
Ochi.
Ochi.
Yeah.
Ocho. Hey,
Ocho Cinco?
it's 8.
8.
Chris Jericho. What about you, Jesse?
I was also going to say Ochi.
That's a good one.
Ochi just kind of creeps me out. I don't know what's going on there. Is he a bug? Is he a dog?
He's a dog.
He has a giant head?
He's clearly a dog.
Well, I understand that, but then like in Pikmin, it could be a bug. I don't know.
Maybe having the Pikmin as like companions would be good too.
Except just stuff from your desk is moving around and just very faintly.
Yeah, that's maybe that's a good point.
You know, it's like
I'm not done with my coffee cup. Bring it back.
Where are you going? We're transferring it to another system.
Why is everything disappearing? Boom, boom.
Or it could get yeeted off your desk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
be yeeted.
There you go.
Rocks everywhere. Pick
All
up
right.
your phone. Yeah, you found me.
All right, Zablanc asks, gaming is coming to an end. Square Enix is perpetually disappointed in sales. Ubisoft can't make money selling all their games for $10, and Nintendo is getting sick of people asking for Mother 3 and will close up shop. But the industry has come to you and said you can save 5 existing franchises across all consoles. They are the only series that will get more games in the future. Every other one is dead. What 5 game series would you save? And we each get to have 5.
Okay, so I'm thinking this. If we do this strategically, then we save 20 game franchises.
Correct.
All right. So who's going first so we can plan well?
I will go first to like just pull them off the board. Mario is a franchise.
Yep.
Legend of Zelda is a franchise.
Yep.
Mario Kart is a franchise because I believe it's separate of the Mario itself.
Maybe.
Right. Metroid. And I'm gonna say Animal Crossing. You know, the top 10 games of Nintendo, I'm just gonna call those now. All right, the rest you figure out another 15.
Surprised you didn't throw the Donkey Kong in there.
One of y'all got to save me.
Nope.
Tim, I did you well by Metroid. Don't be like this.
You just yeeted Donkey Kong into non-existence. Okay, so let's get the other obvious ones off the board, right? Mega Man. That's one. Let's do Star Fox. Let's do Final Fantasy. Kirby.
I was going to say Final Fantasy pre-7.
and wild card Power Wash Simulator.
Nice.
I did put you down for some new DLC, by the way.
Yes.
Jesse.
All right, so I've got Dragon Quest. The friend reminded me of Picross. Pokemon. Mecha goes, can it be a franchise if it has one game? Sure, why not? Professor Layton.
Ooh.
Ace
It's
Attorney.
like, oh crap.
Wait, Layton, whatever. I don't know.
Ace Attorney.
Ace Attorney.
That's my 5th. Attorney.
I know I didn't spell that right.
That's what spell check is for.
Yes. Okay. So Donkey Kong.
Thank you.
Since you covered my Metroid, because I would have said that anyways. So Donkey Kong. Steam World games. Would you count that?
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take Steam World franchise.
Steam World franchise.
What about Mario Party?
I think that all Mario games are Mario as a franchise.
Mario that then becomes such a catch-all, right? Like Yeah, you're not wrong.
God of War.
Ooh.
Ooh, okay.
Do you put in like a cult, like a game as a service, like a Fortnite or a Call of Duty or an Apex?
I almost said
Overwatch?
Fortnite. Almost.
Even though there hasn't been one in a while, I gotta put Twisted Metal in there.
Wow.
You got one more.
Yep.
A runner-up of mine would have been Persona.
Oh boy, one more. What am I even having fun with?
Ninfrendo's calling out Cooking Mama, Street Fighter, Smash, F-Zero.
Oh my gosh.
Cooking Mama.
Oh my gosh.
What about Overcooked?
Mikey says Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, I gotta have. Sorry, guys. Need for Speed. Gotta have a racing game.
We do. We got Mario Kart. What more could you need?
I need.
I feel
need
like
Need
some
for
of us
Speed.
made decisions for the greater good, and I feel like others made decisions for themselves.
I saved Star Fox and Final Fantasy for the greater good. And Kirby.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Oh, I
Power
forgot about
Simulator,
Castlevania.
Purely for me.
And Mega Man.
Yeah. Well, no. There's 5 other people in the world who enjoy Mega Man, Justin. Come on.
I know. That's fair. And they're all not right in the head.
They're all 40 and above.
All right. Actually, I know we're about to end the show. Actually, I'll talk about post show. It's okay. Go ahead, Marty.
Yeah, so that is it, guys. That's episode 486. We want to thank you for hanging out with us for this episode of Nintendo Dads. And as we close out the show, we want to say a huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Dave Ernsberger, Jacqueline Amira, and RJ Kern, as well as our other 90-plus patrons who keep the lights on over here at Nintendo Dads HQ, the nebulous headquarters of the Nintendo Dads. It's in 4 states and 2 countries. Say a special thanks to our 15 Twitch Prime subscribers, as well as over 1,400 of you who follow us over on Twitch. And a shout out to our YouTube subscribers. And again, as we talked about at the beginning of the show, 75% of our traffic on YouTube comes from people who don't subscribe to the show. So if you're one of those people, head over there, click the subscribe button, click the bell. You can get updates from us over there. And again, just thank you to everybody who supports us, whether it's Patreon, YouTube, Twitch, retweeting, following us on social media. You guys are awesome. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. You can head over to nintendodads.org and check out tons of stuff like Spotify podcasts for feeds for all of our shows, including Dads After Dark and Retro Logic and their family of podcasts, as well as our YouTube videos, tweets, links to all of our social media, and merch. You can get our exclusive 10-year shirt design over there. And don't forget to check out our sponsors at Manscaped at manscaped.com. You get 20% off your order and free shipping with the code NINDADS. And Factor Meals, some of the very delicious protein-filled meals to keep you going. You can head over to factormeals.com. 50% off your first order with the code NINDADS50. And again, that code for Manscaped is NINDADS, NINDADS. You can contact us in most places just by typing in our name. But we really love it when you send us email at nintendodads@gmail.com. Or you can call in and leave a voicemail at 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. And remember, if you leave us a voicemail by March 31st, you're entered into a drawing to win a copy of The Impact of the Wata book signed by the author, Lucas Thomas from Nintendo Force. Also, if you're a first-time voicemail caller, let us know in your voicemail and you'll be entered twice. That's right, 2 entries. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music used throughout the show. A reminder, wherever you listen to us, wherever you download the audio version of our podcast, go and leave us a 5-star written review with some nice words. Helps push us up the charts, lets other people know more about the show. For me, for Justin, for Jesse and Tim, and Squishmallow Mickey Mouse. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
Maple syrup mousses.